What was it like to see Nahor's sister so savagely attacked and then lose her life?
Living on the edge of the desert, death is not an uncommon or unexpected thing. I sometimes heard of a soul we knew, lost in the wilderness, and found dead of thirst. And while I was yet a young girl, a famine struck our people and some of our neighbors starved. Then there were our king's wars, some of our young men perishing by the sword. But I had never directly witnessed such a violent and fatal attack as when I saw the serpent, with its fangs in the arm of little Talia. I screamed, my heart leapt into my throat. I thought I would faint, but Nahor's urgency to carry his sister home kept me conscious. The next few moments were a blur. I remember us running to Elanat's tent, Talia limp and bouncing on Nahor's back. It seemed it took many hours, and I thought it would never end, but I know that Nahor's home was only a brief walk from the cistern. When we burst into his Amma's tent, the shock drained all blood from her face. Nahor laid Talia in her lap, and we both shouted what had happened. She could not have understood the chaos of our words. But when she saw the marks of the serpent's fangs on Talia's arm, already swelling, she knew what had happened. I remembered this was not my family, so I backed away to the tent's entrance. Elanat clasped her tiny daughter to her bosom and rocked back and forth, wailing, then humming a lullaby. Then she stopped and calmly told Nahor to open her satchel of herbs and find a certain bundle. She told him to mix some of it with sheep's butter so she could put a poultice on Talia's wound. I knew she was caught between grief over her daughter's certain and soon death and trying to do what she could to alleviate the suffering. I had to turn away. I felt everything crashing down around me. My head spun and I thought I would faint, but I grabbed a tent pole and hung on.
Why did you take the blame for Nahor?
Abba was a hard man, especially after Amma died. Even before then I felt his anger, but after she was gone it became apparent why. My light yellow hair became the target of his rage. I know now he believed I was sired by some man other than himself. Such hair had never been seen in his clan, nor my Amma's, not even in the whole tribe. I think he believed Amma had been polluted with the seed of some foreigner. Whether that be true, I don't know. But I never had the slightest hint that Amma was ever ashamed of me in any way. But Abba forced me to always cover my hair, even inside our tent, and when I slept. So when Nahor and I swam in that cistern, I don't know why I ever went in there with him, and he saw my hair. I could not believe my ears when he said it was beautiful. I had never heard such a thing. His words were some of the kindest I had ever experienced. So when Nahor's Abba began placing the blame for Talia's death on him, I don't know what came over me. I suppose my immense gratitude to Nahor for his kindness made me do it. The horror Nahor must have felt. To know he was partly responsible for his sister's death became my own horror. Somehow I wanted to own part of that, to share its weight. So I told Giram it was my fault. Maybe all those years I was the target of my own Abba's anger made me feel like I could better withstand Giram's rage than could Nahor. I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to understand why we do what we do,